Opening day is right around the corner in Major League Baseball, and in this video, I'm going to take a look at some of the new faces and the new places for the AL Central Division. I'm also going to let you know which teams are going to be good candidates to bet on from a bettor's perspective, and who I would bet on to win this division. So let's play ball.
Anderson hits it in the air to right. Back at the wall, and the White Sox win it.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Sports Dave, one of the BettorOff ambassadors, and I cover a lot of different sports on this channel, from football to basketball to UFC. But right now, spring is in the air, and it's time to look ahead to the 2022 baseball season. In baseball, it's important to understand that not all wins are equal. Your return on investment is going to vary from team to team. And I covered this a bit in the video yesterday about the American League East, which, by the way, I recommend going back to watch that one, or you can also check out some of the upcoming previews for each division as well. Just make sure you subscribe and tap the bell. So last season, the White Sox ran away with the Central Division. Here are the standings from last year to prove I'm not lying. But looks can be deceiving because let's just pretend that we bet $100 on each team all season long in 2021. This is what the return would have been from each team. You can see that despite Chicago dominating their division, they did not help anyone dominate the sportsbook. In fact, the Detroit Tigers, with their below 500 mark, were actually the third most profitable team to bet on in 2021. The Twins were the worst team to bet on in this division. Now, when you compare the Twins and the Tigers' records side by side, the difference is only 4 wins. But the difference was that the Tigers exceeded expectations, whereas the Twins fell well short of theirs. And of course, this affected the value of each team's odds throughout the season. So let's take a deeper look at these teams and find out which ones are going to give us the best chance to be profitable this season. This is also why shopping for the best odds is extremely important. I use the BettorOff app to search through over a dozen sports books to make the most of my best bets. Throughout this baseball season, I'm also going to be sharing a lot of my best bets. Oftentimes I upload these videos the same day as the games are happening. So if you want to stay tuned, make sure you subscribe and tap the bell to receive an alert whenever I'm sharing my best bets for the day. Anyways, let's take a closer look at some of these teams from the AL Central. Starting with the odds-on favorite for the defending champs of the division, Chicago White Sox were at minus 225 to do it again. The biggest offseason move made by the White Sox was signing Kendall Graveman to fortify their bullpen. This is going to be one of the best, if not the best, last 3 inning combinations for a bullpen in baseball. Between Graveman, Kimbrel, and Hendricks, the White Sox starting pitchers can feel pretty comfortable just trying to get through 5 or 6 good innings. Their biggest loss, however, was to their rotation. Carlos Rodon actually walked in free agency and signed with the Giants. I think this loss may be bigger than anticipated because Rodon was one of their farm system talents that was just starting to come into his own, and I think they should have tried harder to sign him. He only signed a 2-year deal with the Giants. This team has a couple of young arms that are looking to elevate their game to the next level. If Dylan Cease or Michael Kopech or both can actually turn up aces, this team's going to be hard to match. They also have a lineup full of young up-and-coming talent such as Luis Robert, and they're also going to have Eloy Jimenez back to start off the year. If they can get a real breakout season from a couple of guys that I just mentioned, they could be the team to beat in the American League. But ifs, ands, or maybes isn't always going to make a baby. This team should win this division, but I wouldn't bet on it at that price. And for the most part, I'm probably not going to bet on most of their games this season because the prices are going to be pretty high. I would steer clear of this team. The Detroit Tigers project to have the second best chance of winning this division, and it looks like a long shot to happen at plus 550. Their biggest acquisition this offseason was signing Javier Baez to a 6-year deal. This really took care of a glaring hole for a team with, well, many glaring holes. Now, as far as who they lost, really nobody. I mean, a few guys left or maybe were traded, but the core group of guys that helped exceed expectations last year are all back. This Tigers organization has been committed to rebuilding through the draft for the past 6 or 7 years. This past year, I think the team played well enough to encourage ownership to try and expedite their progress. And so they got Javier Baez. They picked up a couple veteran starters, and I guess we will see if they continue to trend in the right direction. This is a team I'm going to be cautious about at the start of the season. They have some young talent in the rotation, and Mize and Skubal, I think that they could be pretty good down the road, but I'm going to have to wait and see if those guys can turn the corner before I can start to consider them a legit contender for this division. Last year, they caught people by surprise. This year, I don't think they're going to be sneaking up on people quite as easily, so I guess we'll see how they do. At plus 650, odds makers don't give the Twins much of a chance of winning this division either. But I actually think that there are some things to like about this team. Biggest acquisition? Easily Carlos Correa, which I predict is going to be a huge move for these guys. Biggest departure was Josh Donaldson, who was traded away to the Yankees for Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez. As often as Donaldson was hurt, I don't know how much they lose by not having him on their injured list all the time. This is actually one of my teams that I predict will have one of the biggest swings from a profitability standpoint from one year to the next. I don't expect them to win the division, but it would not come as a shocker if they actually help people make some money this year. Last year was a disaster for this team. Many of the guys in the lineup performed well below their projections, and the pitching staff was a dumpster fire. They only had 3 starters that pitched over 100 innings last year, and none of them are here this year. They essentially went and got a whole new rotation this year with a couple of buy low veterans that are hoping to pan out. And I'm going to be looking for some good opportunities to bet on this team early in the season, so keep this team on your radar. The Cleveland Guardians are a long shot as well to win this division at plus 900. And they should be. This team didn't do a damn thing to get better this offseason. The good news is they didn't lose any big names from that team last year. But this team isn't exactly chock full of stars anyway, so, they have an ace in Shaden Bieber, and they also have Jose Ramirez to man the hot corner. Outside of that, this team is pretty vanilla. However, they do have some pitchers in their rotation that will probably surprise people, like Cal Quantrill or Plesac or maybe Tristan McKenzie when he can get his control in check. But overall, I expect another season close to 500. This is a team I would advise to pick your spots very carefully. The biggest long shot to win this division are the Royals at plus 1100. You're getting 11-1 odds that Kansas City can claim the Central Crown. The biggest acquisition the Royals made this offseason was getting Zach Greinke to don the baby blues again. And not because I expect him to revert back to his old Cy Young form, but because I think it's going to be good to have the younger guys on the staff learn from him. And they didn't really lose anyone of major significance at least. I'm expecting this team to end the season below 500, but profitable. They have a young core group of guys in the lineup and rotation that is easy to sleep on, but they appear to be strong defensively, and if a few of their young guys like Mondesi or Bobby Witt show out this year, they could even crack 500. I think the Royals need more pitching depth, but they are heading in the right direction, so keep an eye on this team. Okay, so let's stack everything back up and show each team's odds to win the Central. But let's also convert those odds into win probabilities. White Sox convert to 69% chance of winning this division. I can't disagree with the idea that they're going to win this division, but I certainly wouldn't bet on it with those odds. And they're probably going to be a good team to just stay away from for most of the season because they're going to be really expensive to bet on. The teams that I think are going to help fatten some bankrolls in this division this year are going to be the Twins and the Royals. This should be interesting to see if I call this correctly because most videos that I put out, I'm sharing picks that are happening the same day. With these, I'm going to have to wait a whole season for the results. Now, if you want to catch any of the videos I'll be posting throughout the season, make sure you subscribe and then ring the bell if you want to watch them before the first pitch happens. I'm going to be here showing you where you can find the best odds all season long, courtesy of the BettorOff app. You can also follow people's profiles on there, or even sell your services if you want to be a pro handicapper. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button to show your support. Until next time, best of luck banging on the books.